I've been trying to figure out how to record and structure this video for a little bit now. I wanted to make a video of passion and a video that did not come off scripted, while simultaneously also conveying the thoughts and emotions I have about the subject matter in an appropriate way. Even as I record this, I'm not sure if I'm doing it justice. But I figure I might as well do at least one video talking about my favorite game. Back in 2018, I was gifted a game by one of my friends. The game I'm talking about today is Darksouls. Admittedly, I only started playing it at the remastered back in 2018. The original Dark Souls was actually released back in 2011 by the developers From Software. Dark Souls being the spiritual successor to their previous game, Demon Souls. Obviously, the most common knowledge about Dark Souls is how it is a difficult, tough, unfair experience. And in some ways, that's actually kind of true. Not in all the ways that people are saying, but in certain aspects, I would be hard-pressed to argue that it's 100% fair, all skill. But back to how I started. I started my Dark Souls journey again back in 2018. A friend had gifted me the game, and I played a couple hours of it. I think I got to the Bell Gargoyles with my friend by my side, and I dropped the game. It wasn't that I wasn't having fun. I enjoyed playing with my friend. I enjoyed the look of the world, the feel of the world, but it just didn't get my attention at first. Jump forward a couple months, right? I find a channel by the name of VidiVidya. If you aren't aware of who they are, they do a lot of Dark Souls lore content and Soulsborne in general videos. The first video of his I watched was on the Witches of Izalith. And from there, I learned about Solaire, and from there I learned about Oscar. From there, I went down this rabbit hole of Dark Souls lore. From the first game to the third and the second, I went down this rabbit hole, and something clicked. Something immediately clicked with me that there was something deeply special about this game that I was missing out on. And I hit up my friend on Discord saying, hey, would you be willing to play this game with me just all the way through? Not in one go, but just me and you all one go. He said absolutely, and we did that. It took a couple days, couple weeks maybe, but eventually we got to the end and I beat the game. That playthrough with my friend was very special to me. I loved getting to play the game with my friend. I felt like it strengthened our friendship. It was a good time. You know, yeah, we both died in humorous ways, but it wasn't really getting angry as much as it was laughing at just our own stupidity or our own ways of doing stuff. The mindset we had was we are trying to have fun, just enjoy the game, enjoy the world, and just have a good time with it. I wasn't concerned about being great at Dark Souls. I wasn't concerned about beating every single boss by myself at that time. It was purely, I want to just have some fun. Second playthrough, I did alone. Second playthrough, I did after that initial one with my friend, I did alone. Obviously, I had the advantage of having known the bosses a little bit more, you know, knowing some of the routes and stuff around the world. I did not get that first Soulsborne experience, but I did still play through it alone, and I still enjoyed it a lot. And for a little while, that's where it ended. For a little while, that's where it sat. You know, I beat the game now twice. I had my fun with it. I thought it was an amazing experience. I played Dark Souls 3 again with that same friend, and for a while, that summed up my Dark Souls experience. Later on, however, I got hit with something of a bit of... I don't like using the term because sometimes in my perspective, it's hard for myself to say I was going through a bit of a depression at the time, and I don't know what it was, but I felt the need to boot up Dark Souls once again. I think at this point, during this third playthrough is when I looked at Dark Souls through a new lens, a new perspective. It was no longer just an amazing world with amazing lore, with good gameplay, and bosses ranging from amazing to bed of chaos. There was more to it now. And that kind of brings us to the message of this video, what I want to say about the game, the lessons I learned, and something of the meaning I found in the game. I will be focusing on Dark Souls 1. It is the game I have the most hours in, even though I feel like in many cases one could argue that the themes remain relatively the same in all three of the Dark Souls games. As you journey through the land, as you journey through Lordran, you will encounter a lot of things. You know, obviously you have your enemies, you have your bosses, but you'll also come across dead bodies, and usually those dead bodies will have items on them, ranging from souls, which is how you level up, to different items, different gear, different spells, whatever. As you play the game and you kind of pick up on some of that lore, you realize that these weren't just bodies placed here to give you loot. They represent the people that were going on this journey but weren't able to finish. They weren't able to make it. However, with every step you take in this land, you are making it further than those past. With every step you're moving forward, you're able to take the lessons and gear of those who were not able to make it. This video is going to be a little bit choppy at times, but I think this is a good time to bring in the idea and concept of hollowing in the game. You see, every single undead in the game is labeled with what is called the dark sign. The dark sign makes that way you cannot die. Your soul, your being is attached to the fire, it's attached to the flame, so every time you die, that is why you are brought back. Your soul, your body, is not allowed to move on. It is attached to that flame. And from there, you have to keep moving. However, hollowing occurs when one finally breaks. Whether that be going insane, whether that be losing purpose, whether that be losing the drive to continue on. Upon losing that part of you, upon losing that part of your humanity, you go hollow, and you become nothing more than a wandering husk. But that obviously doesn't have to be the case for you. It's up to you whether or not you're willing to put up with the challenge and the difficulty of the game. It's up to you whether or not you're willing to die over and over and over again to learn the ways of this world. You have to be the one to willingly get up and keep going. And maybe it's because I was just going through a hard time at that point. But I felt accomplished by beating those bosses. Even if I've already beaten them before, even if I've already done this game twice at this point, there was a sense of accomplishment that I felt going through and continually moving forward. There was a sense of, this world is tough, but I can keep going. To kind of link that back to what I personally was going through at the time, it was a reminder that as long as I have not given up, as long as I am still pushing forward and doing what I can, I have not failed. I might get pushed down, I might get knocked down over and over again, but until I give up, I have not failed, and I have not gone hollow. That was real. That one sounded cringe. Oh, that one sounded cringe. So if I wanted to sum it up in this very, very like baseline way, you could say it taught me determination and perseverance in the face of trial. If you really wanted to just sum it up in a very, very simple way, you could. but I feel like that'd be a disservice to my own journey in the game. That was probably one of the first lessons that set in for me. But as I got to the end, it taught me another. There's a time and place to carry on, and there is a time and place to let things go. In Dark Souls 1, there are 2 endings you can achieve. You can extend the Age of Fire, sacrificing yourself to just ever so slightly extend the Age of the Gods, as it were, and prolonging the suffering of the undead, but kind of letting the Lord's reign just a little bit longer. Somebody else will eventually have to come and do the same job that you did. But there's the alternate ending. You kill Lord Gwyn. There's a bonfire in the center of the room, but behind you is the door. Instead of going to relight that fire, you walk towards the door and you leave. You usher in what is known as the Age of Humanity, ending the Age of the Gods and letting a new civilization rise and take its place. This quite literally, if not at least in many ways, represents the ending of an age. You can look throughout history and find empires rise and fall. If I want to do the obvious one, you can look at the Roman Empire. Obviously, I feel like that's a very common connection that is made. So any empire that has built up and then fallen, you can use as an example here. But you can also look at it in a perspective of your own life. There are going to be eras in your life. It's simple as that, you know. Whether you want to separate it as like baby to toddler to kid to teen to adult, whether you want it to be an era of a certain job or whatever you want to describe as an era, eras have to end eventually. At some point, no matter where you're at, the era you're in will have to end. I've been doing YouTube and streaming since roughly 2016, and I believe 2013 or 2012 before that on a different channel. I'd say I've been making videos and streaming with relative consistency since about 2016, 2017. I have no plans of quitting. I have no plans of stopping. I love what I'm doing. I love getting to record and edit and stream. My word, streaming has become such a major focus in my life, where half the time, days that I stream, the entire day is summarized as I do school, spend some time with my family and stream. I adore getting to do this. And I've said that multiple times too. I've explained that to my family, to my friends. But even I know deep down that I'm not sure when it's going to be. I don't plan on quitting or stopping any time in the near future. But I do know this age will have to come to an end. This time in my life will have to come to an end. I'm not sure when. I'm not sure why or how or any of those things. I just know that it will end. I'm sure that if somebody really wanted to make the argument, you could even say that I'm just prolonging the inevitable. I'm not going there. I'm not going there on a video. I don't want to. I don't want to talk about that. But Dark Souls taught me that not only is it natural for there to be ends of ages and ends of eras, it taught me that it can be a good thing. Good things can come from something ending. So while change can be scary, change can breed new life. Change can breed new opportunity, new drive, new passion. Is it scary while it's happening? Absolutely. Listen, right now, as I'm recording this video, I'm in a weird transitional period. If I'm being bluntly honest and just putting it all out there for everybody to hear, I found out that there is a very good chance I will be moving 12 hours away, leaving behind everything I know where I am currently, to some place where, even though I have some experience there, I have some family there, I know nothing about, and I don't know the first place to start there. Having to, in part, get ready to move, I felt I needed to focus on two things: school and streaming. One, because it's school. I need to focus on it. I want to get good grades and all that. Streaming because it is my passion. It is something that I care incredibly deeply about. So I decided to add a bit more change. I left my job. I explained to my parents that once we move, I'll get another job. Might be something a bit more casual, where I'd like to work at a game shop or something, like for Warhammer, but we'll see how that goes. And then I find out within 2-3 weeks ago that we might not be moving there. We might be moving somewhere else. There is so much change, even just now in my life. Some of it self-inflicted, some of it I chose, like leaving my job. And some of it is just stuff I don't have control over. But it's about not letting that get to me. And I'm not gonna lie, that it's difficult. It is so freaking difficult. On top of becoming an adult pretty soon, between all the shifting and changes going on, it is difficult to find motivation at times. It would be accurate to say I feel lost right now. It would be accurate to say I don't know what's going to happen 2 hours from now. Nonetheless, what's going to happen in the next 3 months, a year, 10 years, I don't know. But I have come to realize that I can't let what's happening now stop me from pursuing my goals, my passions, my dreams, the things I need to get done. I can't let my own struggle with what's happening stop me. And I know to a lot of people, this just sounds like a rant. This just sounds worthless. It's like to many people, I'm sure this sounds like some 17-year-old kid ranting on the internet about, oh, life is so difficult for me. I am 17-year-old in school. I have all free time and yada yada yada. I'm sure this sounds to some of you guys completely stupid, completely dumb, and I understand that. That part of me agrees with you, honestly. Part of me 100% agrees, like, why am I even making this video? I kind of just feel I need to. Even if this does become a way of telling what I'm going through a game or whatever, even if that's what this becomes, I just need to get it out. I need to just say it. In less part, I suppose. I haven't really talked about this super publicly on the channel, but I believe it was last year, 2021, I lost both of my grandparents. When even now I'll think about them and just think of the people and the important people in my life that I lost. And while I know I will never forget them and the part they played in my life, I know that they would want me to keep going and become better. They'd want me to pick myself back up, keep going. I've talked about hollowing and not giving up and not giving in to the struggles that we all feel. I talked about how sometimes the change of an era needs to happen. It needs to happen so that way new life can become a thing, even if it's scary to go into that time of change and time of transition. And the final thing I'd like to talk about, this third thing I learned, is loss. In the game, it's not unfair to say you lose stuff. You lose time, you lose souls, you lose life, if you want to look at it like that. In Dark Souls, you lose friends and comrades and people. You can lose pretty much everybody that you become friends with in Dark Souls. Whether that be a teacher, just a friend, you can lose everybody. Nobody is safe. And as dark as this might sound, that is true to real life. Even in the past 6 months, I observe friendships of mine dwindling. Some of them have gotten stronger, and I pray in earnest that those friendships never break or bend. But I'd be lying if I said I have not lost friends. Now, in the past, whatever. Whether it be me observing that slow separation that I don't know how to fix, or just that night and day seemingly night and day transition to all of a sudden they're like a stranger to me. I learned in Dark Souls that you can and probably will lose people important to you. But something that is seldom taught in Dark Souls is that, I hate to say it, but a fact of life is this: friends will come and go. Obviously, not always the case. There are friends that I have friends that I've known since childhood that we are just tight, and I look at them like siblings, and there's a good chance that will never change. There's a good chance that some of the friends I have now will be the same friends I have when I am 70 years old. There's also the chance they won't. But if I've learned one thing, it's that when friends go, whether that be a slow process or like that, if you're willing to put in a bit of effort, a bit of time, you can make more. And what might be awkward at first of a friendship can eventually grow into something beautiful and something that you truly cherish. It's not always easy, but it's life, and we all have one, so what's the point in wasting it? What's the point in trying to do this long, already hard journey alone, right? I am unsure if I did this video any justice. I am unsure if I did the game that I hold as my favorite game of all time and one of the most meaningful games I've ever played. I am unsure if I'll ever be able to do it justice. If this video did it justice, I don't know. I don't know. But I wanted to say, this is what I learned from this game. This is what the game means to me. I can't speak for anybody else's opinion or journey on the game, but this is what it means to me. This is what I will remember about the game. More than any boss, more than any lore. These are the things that, as I grow older, as times change, these are the things I'll hold on to the most, I think. Again, I'm sorry if I'm getting a little emotional at stuff. I'm sorry if this has been hard to watch, because there's a good chance it is. There's a good chance this has been completely cringe, and everybody's just sitting there awkwardly like, please just stop talking. But I wanted to make it. It's out there now. I have a couple more videos similar to this that I'm going to make, but in different fashion and about different games, so hey, I guess that's a thing. I am sorry if this was not a super upbeat or super cheery video. I'm sorry if I rambled and just got on your nerves. But I wanted to get this out there, and I wanted to upload it before I lose that motivation to. And I've been sitting on this video for a week now, and I'm not sure I'll ever be able to meet my own standards about making this, but I wanted to try. Everybody, have an amazing rest of your day. I mean, it feels wrong to say, but as a YouTuber, I guess you're supposed to. You know, feel free to drop a like or subscribe and whatnot. Have an amazing rest of your day. Please remember to hold on and keep fighting just a bit longer. I don't want to see any of you guys going hollow. Bye, everyone.